So for me, like the research starts now.
Okay, then who's someone that you look up to?
Imagine you could shrink computers down to the size of a dust particle.
Yeah, well, we should be one student for the future.
Yes. Like the small talk at MIT is literally, what's your research? Like, what are you doing in the lab?
Hello friends, welcome to another episode of this podcast. Today we're with Mateusz Czajka. Welcome, Mateusz.
Hello, hi everyone.
Thank you for coming here.
Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. I'm very excited to speak with you today. Mateusz and I know each other from MIT. We're both in electrical engineering and computer science. And today we will hear a lot of personal and education and professional experiences that he has. So let's start. Maybe we can start a little bit from your undergrad and how you came to MIT. So you're from Poland.
Yes.
And you studied in University of Manchester.
Yes, and yeah. So, well, I was born and raised in Poland, but then I started my undergrad in the UK at the University of Manchester, as you said. And then after my second year, I went initially on an exchange program to UC Berkeley in California. And then I never left. Let's say that. Yep.
Okay. And then before coming to MIT, you did a research experience in Berkeley?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So as soon as I got into the exchange program, I applied to this thing called undergraduate research apprentice program at Berkeley, where I got a chance to work in the nanotechnology lab of Dr. Waqas Khalid, where I was making devices out of carbon nanotubes in the clean room.
And how was your experience in Berkeley? Because we went and visited your lab.
Yeah,
and it seemed like Berkeley. An amazing place to be.
Oh yeah, I love Berkeley. I came back to Berkeley twice since the beginning of my PhD, just because of how much I miss it. And that experience has been amazing. Like, it's a completely different vibe to MIT, I would say. People are a bit more relaxed, I would say. Even in research, at MIT we have MIT time, where it's fine if you're 5 minutes late, but Berkeley time is 10 minutes. So even that, these little things, add up and make this place slightly more California vibe, I would say.
And how was your research experience there?
So my research experience was pretty interesting. I joined a pretty big group. It was I think 40 people when I joined. So of course, initially I worked a lot, and then after a year or two, I built some relationship with my professor, and eventually, I became the senior students, and I could, I had the chance to work on the more exciting projects, where I got to work in Lawrence Berkeley National Labs as a researcher, which is very similar to what I'm doing now. And I'm really glad I had this opportunity in my undergrad.
Nice. And then you directly applied to MIT.
Yes.
And how's PhD going for you here?
So it's been going great. As I said, it's a completely different environment. And the pace is similar, I would say, but the approach is different, I would say. I think MIT is much more intense when it comes to how much you learn every single day. Like the small talk at MIT is literally, what's your research? Like, what are you doing in the lab?
We can't stop
yapping about
research.
it. Yeah.
Yes. And what's your research about here?
So now I work on, I make energy storage devices for semiconductor chips to make, there are two main applications of it. One is to make processors, chips in general, more energy efficient. And another thing is this thing called intelligent dust. So imagine you could shrink computers down to the size of a dust particle and make them do something simple, make them measure temperature, process this information, save it, and then send it to the database, right? That doesn't take too much, of computing power, and that's something they could, put in very small devices. But then the thing is, these systems have been showcased, but on a wire. Okay, so if we ever want to use devices like that, we we need to think of how we're going to power these devices.
Mhm.
And for now, we just simply cannot shrink batteries to the size of a dust particle.
Mhm. What's the limitation?
So the limitation is essentially anything sub-millimeter cube is is a challenge at this point.
Because like we don't have the machines to build it.
Yeah. So the thing is, there's all the chips are manufactured in a very specific way in these in these semiconductor foundries, where they're very strict on what kind of processes they allow, temperatures or chemicals they could use. And if you don't use the processes that are already there, then you pretty much cannot embed your technology on chips.
I see.
Yeah.
And you also have a lot of experience in manufacturing because you work in the clean room.
Yes.
So first, do you want to explain what the clean room is?
Yeah, of course. So clean room is essentially one of these labs with yellow light where you have to gown up top down, where there's not a single bit of your skin that's exposed to air. And it's not for your safety, but it's for the safety of the environment, because like we release particles all the time, hundreds of thousands of particles as we speak now.
Yes.
Of course. So of course we want to prevent these particles of interfering with our processes. I make devices that are like less than a micrometer big. If there's a dust particle of a size of 50 micrometers that lands on it, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, like you kind of have like a hair in your device.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. No, a hair would be a disaster.
Yeah, that's like how small things you're working with.
Yeah, and to be more specific, the clean room that we have at MIT Nano is called a class 100 clean room, which means that there are less than 100 particles other than air in a cubic foot.
Wow.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yes. And it's one of the biggest clean rooms.
Yes, definitely. It's one of the most modern clean rooms too. I was particularly excited about working in that clean room when I was coming to MIT because, well, as good as Berkeley is, it's still a public school, so the funding is slightly different, and therefore the clean room funding is different too. And whenever I wanted to make a device in Berkeley, I had to think about the layout, about the design of the chip. I had to design it, send it to an external company that would process this design and design a specific mask that I could use in my process. Okay, we would have to pay for it like $3,500, and that's the kind of time frame I was operating with. Whenever I had an idea to do something. Whereas here at MIT, we have machines that don't need these masks. They have literally robotic stages that can perform they can create any pattern within a minute. So for me, it's just a matter of designing at this point, and therefore I could do essentially in the same time scale. I think I could do a few. I mean, in comparison to Berkeley, I could do a few PhDs in one PhD with all these machines here.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you've only been here for 1 year, and you have accomplished so much. That's nice. So yeah, then also what I would like for you to explain is how do you see the environment at MIT, and also how does it relate to the startup world?
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing because both MIT and let me start with a comparison in Berkeley because Berkeley is in the Silicon Valley and they're the hub of startups, and that's where all the startup culture originates from, in fact. And now it transferred to MIT, but MIT and interferes with the culture of MIT. So of course the two environments are slightly different. And at MIT there is a huge emphasis on developing the technology first and then taking it to to the VCs. And another difference is that Silicon Valley spreads over the entire San Francisco Bay, okay, with of course its headquarters in San Francisco. Whereas here at MIT we'll have literally a small piece of Cambridge called the Kendall Square, where you have all the VCs, all the startups I can think of, in a literally, I think in a square mile.
Yes, all concentrated.
Yeah, exactly. So
different topics.
Yeah. So if you go to a random cafe here, you're very likely to bump into a co-founder or to a VC. And the thing is, if you if you want to schedule your meetings or whatever, like meet these people and do some work, they're much closer. You don't have to like cross the bay to do anything,
Yes. And also I heard that at MIT there are a lot of competitions and incubators to develop ideas.
That is very interesting. We have so many MIT students focused sources of funding. It is crazy to me that there are so many different programs that you could take that take you into the startup world. There's even one that I particularly like, which is coming from the E14 fund, where you could become a VC fellow, which means that you're going to be shadowing all the investors to see how they work and help them, in their day-to-day tasks, which is extremely valuable for someone who wants to start a company and eventually will have to come to these investors to explain their idea and get funding from them, right?
Yes. And would you like to participate in that program?
Oh, of course, yeah, and lots of other programs at MIT too. I wish that that day was 26 hours and not 24 hours. That's the only constraint. Yeah.
Yes. And is there like any company that you find interesting that was developed here?
Yeah, I think one very interesting company, a very recent company, is C Dimension. It's a spin-off of one of the labs that my lab collaborates with within MIT Nano, which is a very inspiring experience because like I got to see the co-founder, well, the main founder of that startup in the lab a few months ago, and now he just finished his PhD and he's starting a company based on his research and his PhD, which is very, very motivating to see that people in your environment, follow these paths.
Yes, yeah, it's very motivating, and it's also like crazy to me. Like you meet someone and like it's randomly, but then you find out that they're like founding a company.
Oh yeah,
and that makes you also work harder.
That is true. That happens all the time at MIT, literally.
Yes. For anything.
Yep, for anything ever.
Yes. So, just like in general, how do you see your first year at MIT?
How do I see it?
Yes.
What are my impressions, you would say? Or
like how was it for you?
Oh, I loved it.
You loved it?
It was very intense, but very enjoyable at the same time. I think like MIT gives you the opportunity to do anything you want and have like the best people for it. And you just want to keep taking from the environment, but you just don't have enough time to, to take everything that you want.
Yes.
And that was my first year experience.
And now you're starting your second one. So good luck.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll need good luck to you too.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's going to be very intense. But then, like, we are also used to the rhythm now, so hopefully we can, enjoy a little bit more our research.
Yeah, I would say the first year is also like, at least for the EE guys, for us, the first year is the ramp up. We get all the trainings in the lab and so on. We still figure out how to like process things and so on. I literally, I've developed my first prototype of the energy storage device, I think in June or July. It took me a year to figure it out, to figure out the chemical process and all the, all the different aspects of it. So for me, like the research starts now, I would say, the proper research where I, just can spin off as many devices as I want within a month.
Yeah, that's going to be very exciting then.
It will be very exciting. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, and what would you like to do after PhD?
After my PhD? Well, I think I came to my PhD with the assumption that I wanted to develop a technology that I want to turn into a company after my PhD. And that's what I've been actively trying to do. And, that was also my first year experience where, thanks to my, thanks to all the opportunities at MIT and to my professor, who is like-minded when it comes to starting a company, we're both said that, yeah, we're trying to, go the entrepreneurial way with this technology. And not only did I work in the lab, I also participated in entrepreneurship programs that helped me clarify the vision for the technology, and it helped me understand how my technology could be applied on the market.
Yeah, and I think it's also very good that you have the support from your advisor.
Oh, yes.
You know this, and that you know like the objective that you have and how you want to build the product makes also your first designs and prototypes like focused on that direction.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, like, literally, my work is very much motivated by what's going on in the market. So for me, it's essentially trying to address what's going on with the AI boom on the hardware side, of course. Like, you know, US and other countries are building these massive data centers now, and their only issue now is how much energy it's gonna all consume.
Yeah, okay. It's crazy how much they do.
That is true, and you know, one big motivation for my research too is that, you know, if you compare how much energy we consume just from computing today and compare it to world's energy production, and compare how fast, you know, it's going to grow and how it's been growing, well, then the estimates show that by 2050 or even sooner than that, the energy from computing is going to exceed world's energy production, which of course that's not going to happen, right? Yes. We'll have to cut off the energy from computing, which of course, like, we don't want to happen. Like, you know, there's going to be a demand for computing. And that's what I'm trying to address.
Well, yeah. Then we need people like you and your research for that. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Good luck with that. And then also, you're involved in a lot of things, as you have said. We have classes, research, but you also took part in a program from NSF some months ago.
Yes.
Like,
so
sure, if it's something helpful for a PhD student, maybe.
Yeah, of course. So that was the entrepreneurial part of my PhD, where I got the chance to go out and talk to companies within my field to understand the technical issues that are important to them, so that I could find a possibility of fitting my technology within their products to solve these problems. So within that program, I was essentially mentored by a few people from MIT who are very experienced with, you know, starting companies and like how the customer search process works, and they connected me with people in big companies that we assumed that were, you know, relevant to my research, and I get a chance to, like, you know, to actually have the first-hand experience of like what they actually need. Yes. And what are the problems they face.
And did you need to have like a clear idea of your product before applying?
I wouldn't say it's a completely clear idea. I would say I know the performance of my technology. I know how compatible it is within the manufacturing processes today. And that is enough for me to say that, okay, yeah, of course, I want to target the applications like microelectronics, where this technology could be applied. And, you know, so first, like, you know, okay, with a certain thesis that I assume that, oh yeah, these guys, the guys from, let's say, wearable biosensors, they need some power sources. And of course, their sensing devices are getting smaller and smaller. So that I thought that they would largely benefit from having an on-chip energy storage instead of having a battery that cannot be shrunk. So, you know, I went and talked to these companies and realized that, okay, yeah, the thesis was mostly right, but then, you know, I learned a lot about problems that I didn't even think that they have. You know, like, one big thing for wearable biosensors is that for most of the cases, they cannot use lithium-ion batteries due to safety concerns. Like that, literally, like, you know, if a patient uses something with a battery and it blows up, like, the lawsuits are going to be crazy after that. Okay, so for them, the value is to use anything but a battery. You know, so
well, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that when I was starting. So yeah, lots of lessons like that.
Sounds like a very interesting program. I'll take a look at that.
Yes, you should.
Yes. Okay, and then do you have any book recommendations?
Book recommendations? Yes. Apart from textbooks.
Yes. Apart from all of that.
Well, for me, I would say the books, that would be like more of research, I would say. I think recently I was interested by a very classic book It's George Orwell's 1984 about like
I love that book.
yeah, it is very interesting.
Mhm.
I think it gives a lot of perspective on what's going on in the world and like how we should what we should be aware of what kind of like mechanisms there could be in society, like that could appear in the next few decades.
Yeah, what we should do and shouldn't do
Yeah.
for the future.
Yes.
Okay, nice. Thank you very much for the recommendation. And then I'll ask you the classic question that I ask everybody in the podcast. So because this podcast is about friends, what is friendship for you?
What is friendship for me? I think, well, friendship I would say it is two or more people, of course, that initially have some similar views on life, on everything, that connects them, and then eventually transforms into something where these people start to like support each other and take care of one another, and they slowly become somewhat of a family rather than strangers, I'd say.
Okay, that's beautiful said. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so that was pretty much it. Now we're going to jump into like the secret section that I have. It's like short answer questions.
Okay.
Are you ready for them?
Always ready.
Okay. What's your favorite place in Boston?
My favorite place, I think the Esplanade.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I love the sunsets there.
Okay,
I have my favorite spot there.
I have one also. The sunset there is very beautiful. Okay, then who's someone that you look up to?
The startup guy I mentioned before, the guy who just graduated. His name is Giadi Zhu, who just started his company after his PhD.
You want to follow his path?
Well, I hope so. Right?
Yeah, you will.
Hopefully.
Yes. Okay. How would you describe your PhD journey with one word?
That's not many words I could, but let me think. Unexpectedness.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And then last one, what's one advice that you would give to someone that's starting PhD now?
Any PhD or a PhD at MIT?
At MIT.
At MIT?
Yes.
Oh, don't stay at home at all. Like, just go out there and explore what is at the university. Talk to people.
But, yes.
Yeah.
And learn also a lot.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That was the last one. But yeah, thank you very much for coming to the podcast and for sharing your ideas and your research with us.
Thank you so
much.
much.
It was very nice to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for the chats. Thanks for the invite. I think this is awesome. And, in a few years' time, when I look at these podcasts of all the friends, I think it's going to be very interesting to compare the perspective now and then.
Yeah, yes. We will talk about this in the future.